Ooh.
That first one to be across the line before the start flies.
Yep. Make sure you've got the thing up. Fires and everything. Into turn 1. Heavy braking into turn 3. Up to 4th gear. Turn 3rd for turn 4. Doesn't short shift up to 4th. But short shifts up to 5th gear instead. Heavy braking down to 4th gear. Just about. Try to keep it nice and tight to the curb. Try to run out wide just to carry the momentum. Should be flat out through here.
Hello there to you, Jaffa, as well. We can see that you are in the pit still and just typing in the Twitch chat. Proven is not here today with us due to the fact of him having other commitments at this point in time now, with being promoted in ERN to an admin of another division. So we have now got crowding alongside me to help commentate. Yeah. So we do see a Haas of Breezy decide that he wants to turn into a lawnmower, cutting maggots and Beckets.
And with a 25-7 across the line.
That's very good from him. We also have ATB, who has decided to start spinning his car around in the gravel as well. Seems like a lot of these drivers do want to turn into lawnmowers today, and it is actually
ESJ with
very funny to watch.
Expo with 27-2.
The drivers will now all be completing their laps, as we see a lot of drivers do go wide through maggots and Beckets, as is more than likely usual with first few laps around Britain. As maggots and Beckets is one of the trickier parts of the circuit.
Leo Racing with 27-2.
So one of these are going to be banker laps, as we do see ATB come into the pits. It looks to be wing damage for him, meaning his run's going to be cut quite short early on, which he'll probably go into the pits, get a new wing, and be back out. Sundit also comes into the pits. More than likely the wing damage, or he has burnt up his softs too quickly. I did just see Londerland also has spun it. Just coming in before one of the straights. A lot of these drivers do seem to be struggling quite early on in qualifying, with just losing the rear end, which is usual around Britain, as we've seen before. Jeff, you know you will need to set a lap in qualifying, right?
Yeah, he's going up now.
You do come out now as well, yeah. Okay, good timing from you then, Jaffa. Evgen has set also a lap, okay. So looking through the grid, a lot of drivers are on their out laps or in the pit at the minute. A couple have done their fast laps, but seem to be coming into the pits. Gergo will be next to cross the line. We'll see what time he can pull out. As he does go fastest of all with a 25-2. A very good lap from him.
Excellent.
He does seem to be going for another quick lap, it looks like, there as well.
Even just came across with a 26-1.
It's very good from him.
Kostov 25-7.
Some good lap, as we do see little trains of cars starting to pop up around here and there, as they're all on their out laps or in laps. But a lot of drivers are on the soft switch. I wouldn't have been surprised if I saw one or two on the mediums just trying to put a lap in, so they don't have to use up all their softs so early on, but we may see some medium runs in Q2 to hopefully start on the mediums. Just depends on track evolution and how these drivers feel on them. because Britain... Oh, as Kustov has retired from the session. Which we will see where. On the right hand side of the screen, on Nigelator, he has...
He's gone slightly too wide from the looks of things into the gravel and lost the rear end. And put it in the
Which
wall.
is unlucky for Kustov, meaning he will be starting from 20th unless anyone else does get a 5-place grid penalty starting in the bottom 5. But for me it shows that Kustov has done a 25-7.
Yes, he has.
Does it show that view as well? So I don't know if that's a bug with Kustov being where he's positioned or a bug with his time, because he might have actually done that type of time and
no,
be in...
No, so currently with the game, it's really weird, but with the game...
They've bugged it again, haven't they?
No, well, it's not necessarily a bug, it's just with the game, he's got, obviously, if he goes through to Q2, he will be 15th, because
okay.
he won't be able to qualify because he's like retired, like crashed out.
Ah, yeah, okay, that makes sense now.
But,
his answer does go fastest with a 25.
So his time will stay there, and if no one beats that, he'll go through to Q2. Or if not enough people beat it, he'll go through to Q2, but won't be able to drive in the other quality sessions, or in Q2. And he'll start 15th.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And whilst I was rambling on, Hans went P1 with a 25-1, and Breezy
also went P3
with 25-3. Oh, 25-2. Exactly the same as Gergo. So looks quite close at the top.
Yeah, it is, as we do actually see Jaffa has gone out in the mediums, as other drivers are in the lower parts of Pumpy coming. Gasly's coming to the pits again. Pumpy is invalidated. Sundit does have a purple middle sector, which is looking good for him. As we will see if that is actually just the game bugging like it usually likes to for commentators, as it will show purple sectors when there are not. Which is always lovely to see.
Now the 26-1.
E9. Pumpy still invalidated. Gasly in the pits, Lundgren in the pits. Those two will still need set laps, and we will need more than likely improvements from Jorkland Still gonna butcher saying your name, mate. I'm sorry. It's second week doing this.
Oh, yeah.
But he has... Yeah. Names are not my specialty, as they guessed from last week.
I mean, yeah, English is never a specialty of someone who's English.
No, it isn't. Jorkland is on a flyer now, with his last lap seeming to have spun, with being 22 seconds slower than Nigelator, who is a position ahead of him. But he does set a purple middle sector. This seems to be a bug with the game, instead of saying everyone has purple middle sector, but he can actually go pole here, as he does invalidate it. So he will need to go for another round if he wants to, and if he does have enough fuel in that car. But he doesn't want to go around on 2 worn tyres.
It doesn't actually matter if Q1, because Q1, the only time when that is on the compound you're trying to qualify on is in Q2, as they're the tyres used for the start of the race.
Yeah.
Which is why you see some drivers like Hawk and DFG the Master and Exploit on 3 or 4 lap old tyres.
Yeah, as they're all just going to be... Sorry about that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they will probably just be trying to pump laps out, trying to get up near where the other drivers are.
And trying to familiarise themselves with the circuit.
Yeah, because the circuit flows really well in some places, but there's other places where certain drivers can struggle a lot. I struggle a lot through Maggotts Beckett's because I just can't seem to turn the car in. With others who struggle through Sector 1 a lot, with just not being able to keep the rear end stable. It's just a mixed bag, this circuit. Very high speed. Just wish we still had the old Silverstone layout. I prefer the old Silverstone layouts. Flows a lot better for me.
Gasly's gone really deep on his flying lap.
Oh, and again. As we do see Gasly coming in through the final few corners. I have a feeling with those couple of ventures, yes, he has come into the pit as Pilot does retire in the pit lane, probably hoping that his lap is good enough to see him into Q2. Lunderland is on a flyer and so is Pumpy. Lunderland will be the first of those two to finish his flyer, but we do have a Racing Point who comes into the pits. Lovely. And Jorkland will also come into the pits. What about the Renault? The Renault will seem to end his lap. That was appalling English.
It looks like the Renault's still on a lap.
Yeah, so the Renault will.
He's half a second up on his current best, so he might. He is going to.
And he does stay out. So we also have the McLaren of London, who is going to stay out. He is not actually... Ooh, mud on the side of the McLaren there as well.
And the Renault comes across and puts it in P12 with a 26.4.
London with a 27.0. He'll need to improve by 0.3 if he wants to make it through to the next qualifying session. TIR Pumpy... Hawk. Hawk is also retired in the pits. He hopes his lap's good enough. Pumpy moves up a position with a 27.2. Gasly will still need to set a lap, and it seems like Lunderland, Cool Ice Cube, Pumpy, Nigelator, Gasly, and maybe Lyre Racing will all need to improve their laps to hopefully get into the next qualifying session. With Kustov still seeming to have the 6th quickest time. Yeah, the 6th quickest time, even though he's showing down at 15th. That is because earlier he did crash.
Lunderland's just lost it. He's in the wall. As the whole of the front wing's been taken off from that collision with the wall.
Yep, as we do also see Pumpy just cut a massive bit of the corner. Breezy does also retire. His lap probably will not get beat. Hopefully I've not made the same mistake that I made last week when I said someone's lap wouldn't get beat, and then I believe it was Jaffa who went out and absolutely smacked their lap. And I believe Jaffa did get pole last week around Vietnam. Which was very well done. That Vietnam race was a very good race to watch. A lot of safety cars, a lot of action throughout to the field. At the minute, DSJ is not in this session, which is going to give Jaffa the advantage, because Jaffa can go top of the championship if he scores more than 6 points today. Oh no, DSJ is in here. I have just completely missed DSJ off of the list. So DSJ is still here. These two are number 1 and 2 in the championship.
Cool ice cubes going on to the final few corners now. It finishes higher
As DSJ does seem to get all out of shape there, as Cool Ice Cube does come through. He's 6/10 up on his time at the minute, which will put him into P12 if he can do this last few corners. He does drop 3/10 his final corners.
Yeah.
Which means he will have to improve on that lap again.
From a looks in, there might be enough time for him to go around and do another lap.
Unless that is the amazing glitches that we know Codemasters have with the timing sheet. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yes, that one as well.
Yep, as we have had Jaffa go around in the mediums, seeming to get some race practice in. Gasly has invalidated. He'll be racing to the line now to hopefully start one more flyer chance. As he does, with 4 seconds to go, he can start it. Nigelator has seemingly accepted where he is going to be positioned, same as Lunderland and Pumpy, as those three are not going to be able to improve their laps. Cool Ice Cube's given up on his lap as well, it seems like. So Gasly seems to be the only one who can push up.
Gasly the answer to the last two from the looks of things to be able to settle out this session. Everyone else is either invalidated.
Ants had no reason to go out here, but he has just decided he is going to absolutely send it, and he congratulations, Ants. You showing off may have cost you.
And so has Gasly. Gasly has also now invalidated his lap, so...
The bottom 5 will now consist of Cool Ice Cube, Lunderland, Pumpy, Nigelator and Gasly. As Kostov will make it through, but he will more than likely start P15 due to him sustaining damage and retiring from the session earlier on during the qualifying. Mr. Jaffa, I'm betting there will be probably around 4 safety cars today, mainly due to the fact that you will probably end up spinning 4, maybe 5 times. As we also have Proven watching on after deciding that he did not want to carry on the commentating. Ta Proven. You had one job. Every driver is now in the pits or finish their qualifying. We'll just have to wait another minute until we get set into qualifying 2. And the drivers will then choose the tyres they'd like to start the race on, or the top 10. So here we go as well. We have Ants going through, Greg, Gergo, Breezy, ATB, Hawk, Jaffa, DSJ, X-Pilot, Sundant, Devilant, Jorkland, Kingburger, Lyre Racing and Evgen have all progressed through. Kustov, Cool Ice Cube, Lunderland, Pumpy, Nigelator and Gasly are all knocked out. Main reason for Kustov being there is he did sustain terminal damage to his car during qualifying, as we can see down here. Kustov did sustain terminal damage. So a lot of warnings for exceeding track limits and deciding to speed in the pit lane were there as well. As now we go with 14 drivers into qualifying 2, as we are now going to see what tyres they would like to set their first laps on. I believe we will see some medium runners here, but it is ultimately the driver's decision. Crowden, how many medium runners do you think we'll see here today?
I mean,
or trying to start
depending
mediums.
on whether what compounds they chose for or what tyre strategy they chose. If they chose the softer one, they wouldn't be able to go out on the mediums in Q2. But I reckon we'll see a couple, maybe like 5 or 6 people go out on the mediums, just to see whether they can set a time that will get them within the top 5 at the start of Q2, and then possibly go out on the softs right at the end of the session to see whether the time on the mediums is good enough for them to get through Q2 into Q3 without having to use the softs.
Yes, as we do know it's a full dry race as well here today, so it will be that the drivers will not be having to all go out on soft tyres to try and progress with the softs and then start on the inters or full wets. But it is gonna, I believe, be a good shootout for the top 10, as DSJ and Jaff will probably be going head to head to try and see who will keep that top spot in the championship. And we also have Arntzen, who is sat third, who could lose third to other drivers. Today it will just depend.
DSJ with the first driver to start his flying lap.
So there's yellow flag sector 2, but that sector 3. I've just at least I haven't done as bad as proven last week, saying sector 3 was sector 1 and sector 1 was sector 3, believing they were driving backwards. Guys, I have actually been told now how to translate some names. Probably still going to absolutely butcher the names because me speaking Norwegian, or where these drivers are from, as I know a lot of them are from Norway and other countries, is not the best in the world, to put it nicely. The DSJ is going to come through the last few corners to see... Oh, the tyres. There we go. I'm sorry about not putting the tyres on Jaffa. I know that can be annoying, as DSJ does go through the 25.9.
Wasn't too bad of a lap. Had a few lockups early on, but
still managed to progress through. Well, not progress through, but push through.
Possibly will still be time in that lap, so you might either stick out for another lap right now, or they'll just race back to the pits to put on a fresh set of softs.
And Jaffa, as you were moaning about the tyre graphics, the 3 drivers on mediums are Welsh Deviant, Arntzen and Sunder.
Yeah, because Jaffa used his mediums in Q1.
Yep. Or well, he might have just worn his mediums in Q1, as Lyre Racing does retire from the session. I believe that was a crash. Let's get on board with someone who's coming up to it.
Oh god, that is a...
That seems to be a collision with another driver, I believe. One of the Williams... Oh no, it was just the Williams on the inside wall. I don't actually know how someone would have crashed there, if it might have been a spin or something. Possibly. As we do see Sunder put a 26.6 in. Sorry about cutting you off there.
So possibly could have been losing, well, having the rear step out at the exit of turn 1. Whilst on the throttle, it just lights the rears up and causes you to spin and puts you into the wall.
Yeah, as we have seen that happen multiple times before during league races. Drivers just not having the best of luck around Silverstone with losing their rear. As at the minute, Arntzen has just put a 25.5 in, 6/10 off Breezy on the softs, which is around the difference between softs to mediums here. So that's a good lap from Arntzen. He will probably need to improve on that though, if he hopes to progress through to the next stage of qualifying on these medium tyres. But Breezy currently is leading with a 24.9, then it's Arnson, X-Pilot, DSJ and Sunder. Evgen has just started the soft run. Jaffa is coming down the hangar straight at the minute as 2 drivers have just come into the pits as well. Jaffa will be the next driver to finish his flyer lap. We'll then see what he wants. A big lock-up coming into the last few corners. DSJ has also crashed. Nat, if you could quickly hop on with that, as DSJ is 10,000th, 10 hundredths slower than Breezy.
And again, it looks like it happens the same problem with Leo Racing, going around the fast right-hander.
Left-hander.
Right-hander, and right.
Yeah, you do. My left and rights aren't there either. Proving that does not mean you get to call me a bottle drop in the chat again.
He's coming around the fast right-hander at the exit of the old done one. The rear steps out on him and he's lost it and put it into a wall, causing the DNF. Unfortunate there from him.
Yeah, as DSJ has now set a 25.9. That'll be, if anyone beats that time, he will drop down. But he seems to be sat pretty well with that, as that would have been pole lap. So more than likely, unless all of the drivers can progress at a higher lap time than that, he will start P10. Meaning he does get the fresh set of tyres, and he's used technically 2 less sets than any other driver. His next driver to cross the line will more than likely be ATB. Has set a purple middle sector. I've just realised this isn't appearing either. Has set a purple middle sector from what it showed on the game graphic, but the game loves to lie to us.
Chalkland.
As this lap we'll see.
Chalkland just had a purple P1, but then invalidated.
That's unlucky, as ATB does go P3. You did see yellow flag appear from one of the Alfa Romeos. Or no, it was Gergo who actually caused it. As he is on an outlap. Evgen is on a flyer coming through the end of Maggots and Beckett's. And now we're coming down the hangar straight. As he does pull out of his quick lap, which is surprising. Might not. Oh no, he's probably on an in lap actually. Which is stupid. Hawk is also on an out lap. Jorkland is starting his lap. And Kingburger Racing has set a purple middle sector. We all know this game. Loving the purple middle sectors. Seems to be whoever's coded in wants to actually feel like he's done good during the middle sector. No other sector in the game. As Kingburger does come through and puts in a 26.9. Oh, and that Welsh Deviant has also hit the barrier in the exact same place as that DNF. Sorry about cutting you off again then.
Yeah. So from the left saying DSJ will be P10 currently. With his time is set and won't be able to set a time in Q3 to try and push himself further up the order.
I think Jorkland just had a moment coming into Maggots and Beckett's as well. We have Hawk swerving after looking at his tyres, seeing he has been through the gravel as well. So a lot of these drivers are not having a fun time, as Deviant has decided to draw his own circuit, it seems like, without that front wing. He's just decided to cut most corners, but he might just be taking the old British layout.
Yeah,
we don't know.
He's trying to get back to the pits quickly so he can come in and go back out on the mediums. We can set a time.
Yeah, as it might now be at that point that Deviant has to make the decision mentally of, does he want to risk going out on the mediums again and them not being in their prime when he's doing his quick lap? As we know, most drivers do usually like to do 2 laps on the mediums, a banker lap first and then the quick lap. As Hawk and Jorkland are both in the pits as well. So this session we will only lose 4 drivers, apart from DSJ will start P10, So it will show that we lose 5 drivers, as I believe it was Christoph, who also crashed last session, is starting P15 due to the fact he did crash. Gergo is the only driver on track at the minute. Well, he's the only driver on a flyer at the minute. And we'll see what Gergo can pull out the bag here.
And he is on 2 lap old softs, which might hinder him in the race.
Yes, they might, as you want to be starting preferably on 1 lap old softs due to the fact most grip going into the race, and you can also, if you're going to tyre wear, make them last longer.
As well as
I have a feeling that...
As well as the fact,
carry on.
As well as the fact that the strategy around here, for most, well, for some of these drivers, may be soft medium.
It will also depend on the safety car, that strategy, and when if and when the safety car does come out. As thank you, Gergo, for going into the pits. ATB, you are now going to be the shining light of NRC for this lap, as you are the only driver who's currently out on circuit. Breezy does retire in the pits.
I mean, the soft medium around here is a very comfortable strategy for someone, for most people anyway. Whereas, but you can take the hards from like lap 1 onwards for the whole race.
So if anyone is watching the stream, they could have an advantage there, as they might not have known that they can take it, as Deviant needs to... Ooh, Deviant had to dart out the way then to avoid getting rear-ended. Maybe adding 2 drivers runs them.
Ooh, bit of a lock up from ATB. ATB has backed out of his lap.
As Jaffa has retired again. I believe that Arnson and Sunder are going to be thinking, do they want to go out on the softs and risk, so they hopefully will not have their lap knocked down and to be knocked out of qualifying, as Arnson, just as I was talking about you going out again, of course, you just want to retire in the pits. So Sundit will be the only medium runner who may want to switch onto the softs, as I do see the driver come out of the pits. So that is Sundit, who has to go out on the softs, so yeah, he will be running another soft lap.
Arndt is risking the fact he gets through to Q3 on the mediums.
Yeah, as Hawk has invalidated his quick lap, so he will have to try and sprint around the circuit as quickly as he can to get another lap in and hope for no mistakes. Deviant has also invalidated his lap, he is out on the softs. Dorkland has on an out lap, he would also get a lap across. Gergo has seemingly just decided he wants to go for a drink and is not going to come back out. Neither is Evgen. But ex-pilot, ATB, Sunder, Kingberger, Deviant, Hawk and Jorkland are all going to be out, as first driver is going to be Deviant, is it? It's going to be next across the line.
It looks like it's... well, the first car on track is Alfa Romeo Hawk's invalidated. So
I mean, it's going to be ATB. Who's it? The Alfa Romeo is
ATB
on.
The point of ATB.
Who has got a purple first sector and is 2/10 up on their time at the minute. Coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. Very good line through Maggots and Beckett's. Just a little wide on the exit. And they have lost some time through there, as they're barely improving on their lap time.
Bit deep into those 2 corners. And
through the final corner now, and has spun it.
He's
Ooh,
lost.
so that's going to be their improvement gone. They just need to hope now that the drivers below them do not improve. As ex-pilot does invalidate his lap time as well. Sunder has not invalidated, Deviant has not invalidated, Hawk or Jorkland. And first of those bunch... Oh, as Gergo. Oh no, that's not Gergo. That was Jaffa. No. Ugh, jeez. Names are not good for me today. Welsh Deviant has just gone up into P4.
Yep. That's a
And
decent
someone
lap from
else.
him.
Jorkland has pulled himself up to P7 as well, as the Ferrari has invalidated. It's Alfa Romeo Hawk, who's going to be next across the line.
Says he has
Sorry
a
about cutting off
purple
again.
sector too.
He is... Tell me how much he's up on his time. He's coming through the final corners now. He will need to try and pull it as best he can up here. He does go P4.
25-2.
Sund at the last driver. And we will see now where he has pulled it. He has gone P10, meaning he is through. Very good drive from him, putting himself into P10. Drivers we will be letting go of today are... Oh, as Kingberger has left the session. We will be letting go of DSJ, Evgen, Berger and Laya Racing. Quickest was Breezy, Jaffa, Gergo, Hawk, Deviant, ATB, Arnson, and Arnson is qualified on the mediums, meaning he will start the race on there. Jorkland, I'm going to let X-Pilot and Sundit are the top 10. So we have 4 constructors, both Red Bulls are through, both Hasses. I have just been removed from that screen. Thank you so much, Codemasters. We all love you so much.
Yes, Jay the Master managed to get knocked out. Tim.
Which is unlucky for him, as he is, I believe, the championship leader.
But he's
not. Jaffa is going to have a smile on his face today.
But he'll be starting on the fresh mediums in P11, more than likely. So he might have a strategy advantage.
Yeah, he could do, as he may actually see what others cannot see. He may have seen that as a win, starting P11.
Because I know personally from this track, and kind of similar to USA, that the medium soft can be quicker than the soft medium, just because you can take the mediums on the first stint slightly longer and have the softer tyre compound at the end and be really quick and make the positions back up be lost from going from the alternate strategy.
As both Ferraris are the first 2 cars out on track, then followed by the Haas of Breezy, then Hawk, and then Arnson. As we see, all these drivers have gone with a soft compound tyre. If they had gone with mediums, hards, wets or inters, I would be a bit confused, as that wouldn't really be the best choice of tyres. So Red Bull is also coming out now of Jaffa. As something that is also is it best to start P2 or P3, as we heard Bottas saying in Drive to Survive, that Drive to Survive Season 3, that it is better to start P3 rather than P2. Do you believe that, or do you believe it is better to start P2 than P3?
It can really depend on what track.
Monaco, it's probably better. Sandavot, but
Monaco, yeah, start at the front. Start as close to the front as possible. Track position is key.
Yeah.
But here, as it's such a short run to turn 1, even if you get like a decent start from P1 or even P2, you should still be ahead by the time it comes to turn 1.
Yeah.
But whereas tracks that have a longer run to, turn 1.
Mexico,
USA. I mean, Russia's turn 1.
Yeah,
on the main straight.
a little kink, yeah.
With such a short run to turn 1, I think it's probably better just to have track position initially. But maybe, Breezy's lost it. At the start of his flyer to the right hand side.
He has also retired. Oh, that is unlucky from Breezy.
Yeah,
that means he will more than likely start P10. Do hop on board with DSJ to see where that car is. I don't actually see where that car is.
It's,
Thank you, Codemasters.
It's right on the right hand side. There's a bit of a wall that it's like a little cubby hole that the car can go into, and it's right in the cubby hole. Goes into the final few corners now.
Jaffa does set a purple P1.
Sector 1.
A purple P1, purple sector. My English is not good. Anyone hasn't guessed that yet. He's absolutely shocking.
Slightly coming for the last 2 corners, but still managed to set a 24.9. Decent lap.
Very good from him. As we also have a Alfa Romeo who has spun it down through Maggotts and Beckett's. Not really surprised with car spinning it there. Just waiting to see if he has got wing damage on that Aston Martin. On that Aston Martin,
lap and done a 25.1.
So for anyone who doesn't know, the Alfa Romeo is now nicknamed the Aston Martin.
Jaffa's gone P1 with a 24.6. Sorry about cutting you off.
No, that's fine. I can tell now that it is a glitch for purple middle sector, as Hawk has apparently set a purple middle sector. Bearing in mind he was 1 minute 40 seconds through the middle sector. So we also do see Sundar, who has decided to do some pirouettes on the circuit in that Alpha Tauri. Next driver will be a Red Bull of Deviant, who goes to P4.
We're 25.5. Hawk.
Hawk will be next, yeah, I was just checking. He will probably come into the pits. Hawk says a 2 minutes, 2 minute 9 seconds with that spin.
Probably going out for another lap just to get that banker in. He needs to be able to do
it was
this
unlucky with that
quickly,
spin.
Otherwise he won't have enough time to do another lap.
Gogo is coming through again, and Gogo has just done a 1:34.2. I believe that's him just going to set another lap. Sundit does come into the pits after that spin. As we do have Jorkland, who will be next to cross the line in his non-Russian striped Haas. Luckily it's not Russian striped yet. Next year, different story.
Yeah, next year's a
he will set a 25.8, placing him P5. I don't know how many drivers.
25.5.
I don't know how many of these drivers, to be fair, do have 2 new sets of tyres and how many have 1 new set. I believe Arnson has 2 new sets because he did do 1 medium run through Q2.
Yep.
But I don't know. We will see with what tyre I can't choose with.
Gergo apparently has a perfect sector 2. And he is 2
Do you believe that for 1 second though?
Possibly.
That is no offence to Gergo's ability.
Possibly, because he's 2 temps up on his time.
Also, it might be we just love the Cody's glitch, as Gergo does also have the fuel light flashing for him. And this will be his last lap, as he does go with a 24.6.
He does go with P1.
Well done from Gergo. That's on 3 lap old softs.
Yeah,
there will be time that he can find in that.
Very risky thing to be doing, but he feels
X-Pilot
doing
does start his lap. ATB will be next to cross the line as we see him coming up through the final few corners as he does come into the pits.
Yeah, it's going to put on a new. It's going to put on a fresh set of boots.
Jorkland, who does also come into the pits. I love you guys. Whenever I switch to your laps, it's just let's come into the pits to annoy him on comms.
Hawk's going to go into the pits too. I think Gergo will probably go into the pits also.
Gergo does with the fuel lights, it will more than likely be he does. X-Pilot is on a lap and Sunday is on an out lap, so X-Pilot will be the driver we're on board with for this next lap.
Oh, and he invalidates, running slightly too wide at the exit of the old one.
So, this is very fun commentating with now Pilot also coming into the pits. So, Sundar, you are now the shining star of NRC, the only driver out on track that we can spectate. So, Sundar, you have the spotlight. Let's see what you can do with this lap. A good line through turn 1. It does not lose it like other drivers have. It's very well done. As he runs through and up the straight and then under the bridge. I keep forgetting what the corner names are. The only corners I can fully remember is Maggots, Beckett, Stowe and Hanger Straight. We do now also have ATB, who has joined him out on the circuit. Thank you, ATB, for being another person joining us out on track. As the Alfa Romeo of Hawk will also come out of the pits in a second. As this is... sorry about this. Sorry about that. As Sundar is looking good at the minute on his lap. I can't tell where he will put it because I haven't seen anything to do with circuit before, as he does go with a purple middle sector. Probably just the game... whenever I say probably just the game line, I feel so bad because I feel like I'm calling the driver that we're spectating not good enough for a purple sector.
Yeah, but
it's just Cody's deciding they want to give everyone purple.
Yeah.
He does come across the line and go P4. Very well done from him with that lap. May have actually had a purple middle sector. As there is a yellow flag, sector 1, and that is Jorkland
just
probably getting out of the way.
Yep. From the looks of things. ATB has just gone on to start his flying lap.
As he comes through turns 1, 2,
Gergo just wanted to get out of the way.
This could be Gergo giving him slipstream, actually, unless... Ooh.
You get a massive tank slapper coming out of turn 4, 5.
Yeah, turns are just weird on F1. A little kink can be classed as a turn on one circuit, but the next it cannot be.
Yeah.
So, it's fun.
Unless you study the tracks and pay attention.
Cough, cough, proven. As ATB will have to race back to the pits. Well, not the pits, but the start-finish straight. The Sir Lewis Hamilton straight to reset, or to restart his timer for a quick lap.
He should go across the line with a couple of seconds to spare. But it'll be really close.
So will Gergo then as well, as Gergo is behind him, as we do see Arntzen is on a flyer. So also...
Onto a purple sector 1.
Oh, Jesus. There we go. As we will also see Hawk, who is coming through Maggots, Beckett and Stowe now, onto the Hanger straight. He is 2/10 up on his time, which will end up placing him into P5. If he can keep his time through these final few corners.
Arntzen validates through the last bit half of Beckett's.
And that'll be Arntzen. Hawk does go up into P4. Sundar and Deviant do not want to improve their times. Arntzen has invalidated. Dorkland has seemingly crashed. Just go on board. And yes, he has. He's facing the wrong way with a tyre missing on his car.
Yeah, he's
There's unlucky from Dorkland.
Very tricky, fast. Full throttle, right-handed. You have to make sure you have to really stable rear end to go through them. Otherwise, as soon as the rear end twitches, then your car's gone, and it's very difficult to control.
But X-Pilot will be the next driver across the line. So Nigelator has left the session. Nat, may you send him an invite?
Yes, I
should
will.
Be recently played with. As X-Pilot sets his lap and goes up to P8. Jaffa does just go pole with a 24.2. 4/10 quicker than Gergo, who does come into the pits. And ATB puts it on to the second row with a P3. This has been very good qualifying, as we've seen a mix of drivers up and down the order. So at the minute it will be Jaffa who leads Gergo, ATB, Arnson, Hawk, Sun, yeah, Deviant, X-Pilot, Jorkland and Breezy as the top 10.
That's a really quick lap from Jaffa.
Yep. He has probably been hiding that in the bag and thought that maybe someone would improve on their lap drastically, and he will have to pull this out. We will see if he can keep the race under his own control.
I mean, it would have got P1 yesterday in Division 1, but Division 1 quality was wet, so...
Yeah, and Division 1 did also not go ahead due to the fact of there being a bug with the game. This is almost a full Norwegian top 10, I've just realised.
Oh god.
Well, half of the top 10 is Norwegian.
Over. I mean,
well, it is a Norwegian racing league, so... so yes, it is. As we can also tell here that Jaffa, ATB, and I believe Hawk, I cannot tell, yeah, Hawk, have all used 2 sets of softs in the qualifying, whereas everyone else has used 1. That means they saved a set of softs. But I believe Arnson did as well, so that's confusing. As Jaffa puts in the chat, England will always rule. We did take over half the world, so in theory, yes. And as you said, England will rule the world. England did just go 1-0 up against San Marino in the football. As he said that, my phone pinged. Imagine a circuit at San Marino. That'd be very, like, small, wouldn't it? Smaller than Monaco, because Monaco's the 3rd smallest country in the world. Yet it has an F1 circuit. Circuit around the Vatican. That'd be even smaller. Just going around the Pope's house in circles. Where would you like to see a circuit be, like, a circuit be put back to? Nigel Later has joined back, that's good from him. Like a circuit that used to be on the calendar get brought back onto the calendar. Where would
Malaysia.
you say? Yeah, exact same circuit that I would have chosen. Just loved the flow of Malaysia, it was just sadly the money. Always brought up excitement though. It's never like, I can't remember watching a dull race around Malaysia.
Yeah, James Ward
used to always be exciting.
scored that goal for England.
Not the GOAT Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard isn't the GOAT.
Yes. Arnson even agrees with that. So how accidentally just closed down the Twitch stream on my phone, meaning I could not actually see what people were saying in the chat. Albeit Arnson said lol. My spelling is absolutely amazing, as we know now, isn't it? If you guys think I can't speak English, you should see my spelling. Oh my god. So we are all just waiting on Arnson to say we can ready up as Gasly, Jaffa, King. Okay, so everyone is readying up now.
I mean, there normally is a short break, but...
It's not like an era where we get a 5-minute break.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully there's a formation lap on, and there is.
As we will all see these drivers, and I can actually put on tyres before someone says so. We will have their tyres, and we will also have that data. As we have Jaffa softs, Gergo softs, ATB softs, we have Arnson who is on P4 and he has got the mediums.
Yep.
Followed by Hawk, Sun, Welsh. I should call him Welsh instead of Deviant when I've been calling him Deviant this whole time. Deviant, Pilot, Dorkland and Breezy all on the softs as well. And as we come out of the top 10 we have DSJ, who has started on mediums. Evgen, who has gone for the softs. Then King Iceberg, Liar Racing, and Kustov all on the mediums. As Liar Racing... Oh no, it's just Lag, okay. I thought Liar Racing had DC'd them. Cool, Ice Cube, Lunderland have both decided to start on the soft compound tyres. So we have Pumpy being the only driver who is selected to start on the hard compound. He'll be hoping that it's not an early safety car that may actually ruin his strategy. Nigelator and Gasly are the drivers behind him.
I mean,
Gasly is in front of Nigelator and Pumpy, yet behind them on the grid.
I think what Pumpy is trying to do is, I mean, it would have been safer to go on to the medium, but if this tyre wear management isn't as good as the others, then the hards might be a better tyre compound. Take them along and use the softs that last like 6 laps of the race before they decide to drop off a bit.
Which we'll see because the safety cars around Britain. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some type of incident going into turn 1, as it is a quick lap right-hander. Every time it's been a quick right-hander that I've driven in league racing, someone has decided to forget there's a turn and absolutely send it. Let's just hope no one does do that today, as I want to say good luck to every single driver who will be driving today and have a good race. Hopefully it is clean and we do not have any instances such as last week again.
Who is your prediction for podiums?
I'm going to go with Jaffa for the win. I'm going to say top 3 will stay as is. There's nothing against the drivers below them, but I just feel like Arnsen's choice to start in the mediums isn't going to help him.
Whereas I think that Arnt on the mediums will possibly mean he wins the race, just because personally I think the medium soft is a better strategy choice. So I think it'll get Arnt, Jaffa, and then I'm going to throw kind of a wild card in here and go with DSJ the Master.
Ooh, so championship leader to regain the championship lead. This will be a all-out brawl between DSJ and Jaffa, more than likely. Different strategies and 1 and 2 in the championship. So we are still waiting on the lights. Oh, there we go.
Leo Racing has left.
Okay, if you could just send them an invite quickly, as Nigel is stuck in spectator mode. So it's a good getaway from Jaffa, who does pull out away. Gergo does try and cover off. They come through turn 1 and there are end plates flying everywhere, as there are incidences further back. There is a safety car already. There was a severe collision already happening, as, oh my god, there's carnage going through those corners. Safety car, and there's a lot of penalties. There's a lot of front wings missing as well. So let's just go through. We still have Jaffa leading with ATB behind. Then it's Gergo, Hawk, Arnsen, Deviant, Sundert, Pilot, Evgen. There are still more. Sorry, I'm trying to look for front wing damage as well here. Breezy has an end plate missing. Kustov end plate missing. Gasly no front wing. Pumpy still got full front wing. End plate missing for Lunderland. End plate full wing. Full wing. So there is a lot of damage, it seems to be, in the mid
section as well.
And Nigelator has left as well. I just want to check penalties here now, as well as Kustov with 5 seconds, Gasly with 15, then it's Lunderland with 10, Kingberg 5, and Nigelator has 5. But I think Nigelator is stuck in AI mode, whereas Liar Racing is not actually driving at the moment. So the cars do come around. Do we see anyone pit? We do see Hawk come into the pits, then followed by X-Pilots, who also decided to pit. Breezy, Kustov have pitted, more than likely to replace front wings. We also see Gasly and Lunderland. This is going to be bad for Lunderland, as he's going to have what I had around Monaco yesterday night, where his teammate has to have a wing change in front of him and a 5-second stop-go penalty.
Hawk is on to the mediums, which might hold up Gasly in the pit slightly, because pit crews don't always tend to work very quickly. As from the looks of things, he's been held for about 3 to 5 seconds already for his stop-go penalty, or for his penalty out of zone in the pits.
Yes, as if you look back, London is only just got into his box due to the wait, and he now has to wait the 5 seconds. So this is going to be a very, very long pit stop, which is annoying for London.
But it's also under a safety car, so
he can catch back up.
He doesn't affect him that much.
Nigelator has left the session again. I don't know what that is about. Jorkland is also quite far back, but a lot of these drivers have actually served their penalties in the pits.
I think all the ones that had penalties now served them.
Apart from Kingberg, Nigelator, who was penalty, I believe, for ignoring yellow flags.
Yes, it was.
England have just gone 2-0 up as well, to anyone who cares about that in the chat.
To be honest, not Norwegian.
And Jaffa seems to always be getting PTSD of these safety cars, due to the fact of what happened last week. He wanted to pit and create a gap right now, and then it was a safety car, and he said, okay, I'll pit into the next. I'll pit once I get a gap after the safety car. The safety car lasted 3 laps.
Okay.
And then there was a safety car half a lap after the safety car had gone in that lasted another 3 laps. And Jaffa got very annoyed, it seemed like, that there was safety car after safety car. He could not pit, and Cool Ice Cube and TIR Pumpy have just collided.
Collided with each other. I'm not sure that's front end plate damage to Pumpy.
King Iceberg is not. Nope. Pumpy is not either. London has left the session, if you could invite him in.
Pumpy's just given Ice Cube a little love now.
Yep, as Jaffa has just put in the chat, 6 King safety cars in 15 laps. It was around Vietnam, which he loved so much, as his tyres were dead when he was trying to lead the race.
Oh, I'm going to quickly check who scored for England, because, you know.
UCL.
Oh, Dominic Cavalier, and assisted by Reece James. Lovely. The youngsters showing off for England.
So we're almost beating Norway now. On the amount of goals scored, it's only been 20 minutes.
Yeah, but Norway.
We all know how much some of the Norwegians love their football as much as us.
Yeah, the Swedes were probably playing so on a team that wasn't like last in the FIFA World Rankings.
That's India. As we do see Gasly overtake Kustov and Kustov re-overtake Gasly. I don't know if that's just them. Oh, Gasly is inside of Kustov. Kustov is not in the session at the minute. Is Kustov got an invite now?
I have given him an invite, but I'll give him another one.
So yes, it does seem like Jaffa is getting PTSD of the safety car. Safety car in this lap.
Yes, also, this is going to be an annoyance for Gasly, because he still has to pit again, and that AI will hold him up.
Ooh, as we see Jaffa bunching everyone up. So Jaffa is an overtake for me at the minute. I don't know if his overtake's stuck on or he's just decided I want to be an overtake. This Cool Ice Cube does pit. So he does go now. And has he gone at the right time? Yes, he has. He's got a 1.2 second lead over ATB.
Arnst is right on the back of Gergo.
So there is a yellow flag down the pit straight.
That'll be because of Kostov and London.
Oh no, they're DSJ.
Oh.
DSJ has had a spin, it seems like, where everyone seemed to be crashing in qualifying. I don't know if there's any wing damage there, but I saw him facing backwards. No wing damage. Very good for him on the mediums.
No wing damage.
As Gasly does get a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings here as well. I believe that might just be extending track limits. Jaffa has almost pulled 2 seconds on ATB now. It's very good breakaway at the minute.
Hawk and Nigel are going side by side. The old back straight. Hawk around the outside to complete that move.
Seems to be very well done from
mad
him.
amount of understeer. Now Exploit is taking advantage of it. Ooh, no,
Breezy does also
Nigel
pick up a
had
3-second penalty.
oversteer halfway through, make us
And
back in.
Breezy has just rear-ended X-Pilot, who did get understeer, causing X-Pilot to spin. And Breezy has now lost his whole front wing, so that's going to be another pit stop for Breezy.
Yes.
Who has already made a pit stop onto the hard compound of a tyre.
Pompey has tried going on the outside into the ground, allowing Gasly to squeeze through the middle of Pompey and Exploit. Or Gasly goes really wide.
Breezy does also come into the pits now to replace that front wing.
Or Exploit.
And Breezy has retired.
Well, Gasly smashed his car into the side of the pit wall from the looks of things. Or the pit lane from the looks of things just then. But he couldn't slow his car down.
As there is a VSC on track, that is, I believe, X-Pilot, who has ended up spinning.
Gasly is also retired from the session.
So these cool eyes, you can see he's overtaken 2 cars as Pumpy. There is, look at the massive gap that's formed now. Auckland is 4 seconds behind Nigelator.
Front left end plate damage.
Ooh, and that's not going to be fun going through Maggots and Beckett's. But this is, to be fair, this is working into the hands of Arnson more than any other driver at the minute, because he's on the mediums and they're getting prolonged on their life.
Yes, which means he'll be better at the end on the fresher softs compared to the mediums. Yeah. But Jaffa is...
As we do see ATB pulled a lot of time onto Jaffa then.
Yeah.
As we just see Jaffa decide that... Oh, yellow flag sector 3, that is Pumpy, who has seemingly spun through Maggots and Beckett. As we do also see Evgen come into the pits off of those soft compound tyres.
Yeah, racing isn't in the lobby from the looks of things. I'll send them another invite.
Yep. I'll also try and send some drivers invites who has left.
Well, Breezy and Gasly are both retired. Evgen's getting a front wing change. I've invited Ludland and Costa, but don't think they've joined back.
And I have lost all of my timing screen now, so I cannot actually tell how close drivers are. Sorry about this, guys. So both McLarens are also racing each other. Both McLarens aren't in the lobby.
Yeah.
Seems like, or they're blagging. I cannot tell which one because
they're not in the lobby.
Cody's do the same thing. Kingberger has just gone wide on the run into Maggots and Beckett's. That hasn't happened in that much as we do see gaps starting to form. As Gergo, though, who is DRS and ERS, was chasing down ATB down the hangar straight, will more than likely have another run at him down the pit straight to see if he can catch ATB up.
Ants just needs to be able to follow these guys and take the opportunity of when they go ahead and make a mistake.
Yeah, as intervals are finally coming through now.
Jaffa is just driving away from the car behind. It's now a 3.1 second gap to them.
Jaffa has seemingly found a lot of pace and is just going to pull away. We do see Arnson still on the back of the Gergo versus ATB action. I'm just waiting for one of them to pull off probably the move of the century, as Kustov has finally returned.
Yep.
He has dropped down quite far and he is on the softer compound tyre, but I don't think he'll mind that. He'll probably be happy he's back. As Jaffa is just pulling.
The SJ, the Masters, battling with Exploit currently.
Okay, let's try and find that. Oh, there we go. DSJ will be...
Oh,
No, I've got hiccups now, that did.
Gergo had to run onto ATB and on the inside.
But ATB will want to make
side by side.
back.
Ooh, very close.
You don't want wing damage this early on during the race. So I feel like he's just let off, as he is better on ERS and will have DRS when they do come down at the DRS straight.
Which protects him from months behind.
Both of them. Yes, as we do see Sunder, who does pick up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. This race could actually be won on penalties, to be fair, because we know that you can get penalties very easily around here. But let's hope that penalties aren't going to decide the ending of this race, because I'd actually like to see it won on track. But Arnson is catching up to the back of ATB quite quickly now, which... Will he want to make a move on ATB if he gets within DRS?
If he gets the run, yes. Because being the second car, or as in this case, the third car in the DRS train, is worse than being right behind the car that doesn't have DRS.
Yes, but it's the thing of, does he want to work his tyres defending?
No.
You do also see further back X-Pilot and DSJ still... Well, my throat's just hurting right now. Sorry about all the coughing and stuff on stream, guys. As DSJ is still following X-Pilot around. As
Deviant having a little battle. Deviant turns it round the outside to the third to last corner. Does he make the move stick? Oh, Hawk on the outside. Hawk makes that move stick on the outside.
That is good racing from both of them. It's good that we haven't got any major collisions between two drivers yet, apart from lap 1, which I don't remember what actually happened lap 1. We do see Gergo, who is going to have to defend from...
Oh, Nigel went very wide. Nigel back on the grass. Uses the position to... Oh, and he goes really deep. Lost a few positions.
He's going to let DSJ up the inside. So that, I feel, is the problem with Silverstone. It's easy to go onto the grass because around Britain we've decided we love grass at our circuit. There's going to be grass everywhere.
Yeah, and especially the first sector, turn 1, and then the old turn 1. The car wants to understeer a lot from you.
Yeah, and with the grass being there, the grass is not the best thing for these F1 cars to be on, as they do seem to just want to drift, as there's hardly any grip there. So we do see Gergo having to defend from ATB. And Arnson is just sat behind them. Arnson is just going to be loving that DRS that he's getting, allowing to pull away from Sunder on the soft compound tyres.
Sunder's into the pits.
Ooh, 5 second penalty between the pits. He's not going to be happy with that.
Deviant and Hawk are still fighting. Looks like Deviant's had to run onto Hawk. Might go down the inside. Looks. Oh, he has a look. But when it gives him a 3 second cut in turn 1. Slightly too much.
I did also see there was a little bit of battling.
Drifting around turn 4.
Well, I did say back in ERN, if anyone can drift around the Monaco hairpin, I would give them a $5. Sadly, it was a wet Monaco race, so no one decided to try that.
Well, you should be
you should
be giving Nana Octa a $5, then he can drift in the F1 car around the hairpin. And run fucking the whole of Monaco Sector 2.
Deviant is close to the back of Hawk, as Nigelator has pitted now as well. He will be sat on the back of the pack. But luckily not P20, as Breezy and Gasly have both DNF'd already in the pits. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of different strategy calls now, because we haven't seen a safety car in a while, have we? Well, since lap 1 we haven't seen a safety car, which is what Jaffa will be hoping for.
Yeah,
Arnson does overtake ATB, who comes into the pits. So ATB is the first of the front runners to blink.
Gergo's tyres must be screaming at him. I'm pretty sure he did like 2 or 3 laps in the G2 on them. And he's now done
3 laps on his tyres in Q3.
Yeah. God. That was not good.
English.
But yeah, but the tyres to qualify in Q2 is what he started the race on. If I remember correctly, he did a couple of laps on them, so the tyres must be starting to scream at him. Whereas Jaffa
He doesn't have the tyre warning yet, but he is locking up a lot.
Yeah, but depending on how bad the lock-up is, it doesn't actually affect you that much.
Yeah, as we do also see Jaffa and Gergo both have the symbol saying their pit crews are ready. In case they want to pit, as Hawk does overtake Deviant, as that is going at the end of the DRS straight. He has been overtaken, as there is also battling going on further back between the drivers, which is looking good, as we do also see Liar Racing is still AI. All of these drivers are pretty close. So I think Hawk and Deviant, if Deviant can follow Hawk through here, he might be able to make a move, because he is just inside of DRS, but he does get wide, which is going to hamper him.
Go into the pits.
Arnson does take race lead now. Arnson now does not have to do anything. He can just relax.
I mean, if he
cop a cold one.
If he wants to gain a big advantage as possible, this is the time where he really needs to push those mediums. It needs to be about another 4 or 5 laps of pushing those mediums.
Both drivers do switch onto the medium compound tyres, so it will be a one-stop soft medium from both of them. I don't see
to really push right now to get that overcut on them.
Deviant is still out on the soft, so maybe he's wanting to push, as we do see TIR Pumpy receive a 3-second time penalty.
I mean, he might be pushing the softs to the point of where he takes the medium slightly less distance to give himself fresh mediums at the end, which could benefit him.
Yes,
if he can make this move stick.
And just realising, Hawk has already made one pit stop. He is sat P2 on 9 lap mediums. So, do you think he could take the mediums the whole race now?
Possibly. I mean,
depending on the safety car?
Yeah. I mean,
as we do see Jaffa get past Kustov as well. But it's going to be tight going into... Ooh, that was tight.
I reckon the medium that are pushed, all leaders retired from the session.
Liar Racing has retired. I don't know if that's a crash.
Looks like it. Go down to Annihilator.
Yes, it is a crash.
Or...
but will it bring a safety car out or not? It doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, it looks like they've lost their rear end again. They tried to caught it and then lost it completely.
Yep, as we do see Deviant come into the pits to change his tyres. He will probably be going onto the mediums as well as his teammates. Yes, he is.
That's unfortunate for them for retiring.
Yes, he will hope he can take those mediums to the end as well. I don't know if he just served a 5-second time penalty then. He may have actually just served a 5-second time penalty. Yes, we do. Ooh, Lunderland, who has just gone flying into the wall. That is wing damage for him. Lucky not to retire with the angle he was going into that wall at. Yeah. That is turns 1, 2. He has crashed out again. Meaning he will have to...
left side of his front wing. Oh,
Lunderland does also 10 seconds.
Codemasters.
Oh,
Codemasters.
Lunderland, I will argue for that penalty to be removed. You shouldn't have received a 10-second for losing your rear end and crashing.
That's been removed, okay. Complain.
There's no way that you should have a 10-second for that.
Yeah.
As the only battle I see at the minute is Dorkland on the back of Jaffa, but Jaffa is pulling away from him. We do also have X-Pilot on the back of DSJ.
Yeah, he'll be pulling away because of those fresh mediums. He was trying to get as much of an undercut on Arns, and
whereas Arns is going for the undercut on him. X-Pilot just received 3 seconds. So now it's in the hands of the gods. If there is another safety car, right? Let's say there's another safety car. Arnson is gonna massively.
Safety car in the next couple of laps, yeah, Arns will benefit massively.
But it depends. What tyres will you want to switch onto?
Soft will go to the end. Soft will last 12 laps and fresh. So
For some reason, I was thinking it was what Monaco was last night, and 39 laps was Monaco.
Oh,
So I was thinking that he was going to have to do hards again, but no, he can switch into the softs now because the softs will last that long.
Yep.
Which is very good for him. He is just driving out in front, as I believe the two Ferraris are very close to each other further down the order. There's a yellow flag through sector 1.
Jaffa's catching up.
That is Pumpy, who has spun. So Pumpy has spun as Lunderland has finally come into the pits with that broken wing. Nigelator will now pick up another place as Arnson is
going on to the medium
about to lap
well.
his first driver. Oh, and is Lunderland having to set 10 seconds in the pits?
No. Actually, maybe. If he has, then that's rubbish.
You should never receive the 10 second for that, Lunderland.
Nah, never.
But we see Hawk dive into the pits on lap 11. Or lap 12 now. So...
early, and this is going for another set. Oh, he's going
for another set of the mediums.
That's the
He has already used the soft tyres. But it might work out from that. He might run through his softs very quickly around here. But Arnson with that 20-second lead. How long do you need for a pit stop round here?
Oh, like 30 seconds. It's stupid. It's because the pit being so long. Actually, it might be like 25. Yeah. Just because...
But we've also got to remember that the pit lane here that is down a slope, so they've got to start it earlier. So it is lower down than the actual racetrack.
Yeah, but it's still a long pit lane. It needs like 36 miles an hour as well. It's one of the slowest and longest pit lanes on the calendar.
Yeah.
No, it is the slowest. Well, it is one of the slowest, but it's the longest pit lane on the calendar.
Something I'd like to see in F1 is a pit lane that's underneath the racetrack, as we do see Pumpy has just lost his rear end of his car.
And so the rear end
as it seems to be a recovery drive as well. I just want to say this now, right? DSJ, bearing in mind he did have that lap 1 incident, is P6 is, oh jeez, I did not see Gergo there, as Gergo does send one up the inside. Very good from both drivers for no collision, as DSJ does come into the pits following King Burger in.
Could play it well.
Arnson still leading.
Arnson needs to push right now. I think I'm not exactly sure. I think it's anywhere between 20 and 25 seconds for the pits. So
yeah, I think Arnson may be waiting for a safety car at this point.
Oh yeah, he's probably praying right now for a safety car.
As Kustov has just overtaken Evgen. And King Burger and DSJ have both switched onto the soft compound tyres. Yeah. Safety car right now would, I believe, could completely switch up the top 10.
I mean, it would benefit Arnson and Jorkland a lot more.
But will someone like Jaffa want to switch into the softs?
I mean, it's a smart thing to do would be yes, switch on to them, because you would just be able to follow the car ahead and be in the DRS.
Yeah.
And especially on the fresh softs for like 8-7 laps, they'll be quicker than what the mediums are right now.
Yeah, as we do see this little train of ex-pilot ATB and Sunder, who are each following each other.
Oh no, that's not Arns, that is Bumpy and Pits. Oh, that's ruined Arns' strategy. Arns was planning on going in the pits that lap, I think.
But he is still keeping a safe distance, and he will have DRS now, I believe, off the car ahead. Nope, car ahead's just a bit too far out. He has slowly been reining in this car ahead, meaning he will, in theory, have DRS, as we do see the Cool Ice Cube get overtaken by Welsh Deviant under DRS. Very good from both of them, clean racing. So there is still these little trains that are forming, as we can see P12 to P12, P11 to P14 is a little train that has appeared as well. But we do still have Arnson, who is now overtaken the Alpha Tauri of... My brain's just working slower today, of Nigelator.
Yeah, Arnson is pushing about half a second this lap.
Yeah, so he will probably want to come in the pits. As we do see the pit symbol appear bottom right of the screen as well. as in he comes. So now this will be the decision of has Jaffa's undercut worked or not. But Arnson will be on the softs now as well, so Arnson will be quicker for these last 9 laps. As we see, Arnson is he in his box yet? He's about to come into his pit box. He will hope for a quick stop here.
Oh, he's got a distant stop.
He is out. As DSJ does in fact overtake him, but now it's...
Oh, I think he's going to come up P4.
He might actually as well, yeah. He is going to come out, or maybe even lower than that. Yeah, he's come out P5. Arnson's not going to be happy with that, but he is behind ATB, who was, in fact...
ahead of him.
The car ahead of him, so the longest stint hasn't worked as much as he hoped. He just hopes these soft tyres can rein in those cars ahead, as he is a big old 11 seconds behind the leader.
It's about
as Jorkland has put up a penalty. As that is unlucky for Arnson, but he is now just probably going to head down, work his way through the field.
Yeah,
see how
burn
much
his
he can put away.
Because the car ahead has like a third of what Arnson's got. And ATB's lifting through old turn 1, which means Arnson should be able to close up quite quickly. Because if you lift
ATB is even on old tyres, okay.
I mean,
Surprising.
Nah, he pitted off the softs. Arnson should
So you probably want to make
soon
those
pass
tyres
him
last
right
to
now.
the end.
Yeah, ATB ain't fighting it that different hard. He knows Arnson's gone for the fresh tyres. Better just to let him
Arnson
follow
is
it.
probably going to be quickest driver on track at the minute. Jaffa is not at the quickest he has been today. He's 1 second slower than his quickest. And while this little battle is all going on, I just want to have a look at the incidences to see what actually happened turn 1. So we had Gasly had a collision with Berger. Berger collision with Gasly. Kustov collision with Gasly. Gasly collision with Kustov. Lundeland collision with Gasly, and Gasly collision with Lundeland.
Arnson's in about a second a lap, so I think
that is very good for Arnson.
He might not have enough time to get to the leader. Especially if Jorkland's sticking out to the end. If Jorkland's sticking out to the end, he can hold Arnson up
massively,
really badly right now. If he does start that...
How many positions do you... Oh, yellow flag, sector...
Looks like London.
That is the McLaren of Kustov, I believe, who has just had a drift then.
Oh, yep, I think it is.
Yes, he's just testing out his rear end, meaning he has probably baked his rear tyres. So those things you could probably crack an egg on and cook the egg, due to the fact of how hot these tyres can get. There is another yellow flag that is through Magnus and Beckett, and Lunderland
side by side, Lunderland. No. Okay, no, it's a lapped car.
Oh, and then Kustov has had another incident. He has spun at the top of the circuit, and he has cut another corner, I believe.
Has crushed again.
Oh, as he does, yep. His tyres are gone.
Yeah.
For Kustov now, it would probably be try and let your tyres cool down, which means brake into corners that may not need braking, as those things are going to be hotter than... I don't know if he tries to turn full speed.
Because he's got front wing damage. He's got major front right wing damage.
He's probably frustrated that this has happened to him and doesn't want it. He just cuts one of Magnus and Beckett's. He's going to be disappointed with himself, as Arnson has made his way past Jorkland while we were speaking about that. It's very close to call now, I think.
Yeah, I think as it all stands, unless there's a really late safety car that throws it up, I think it's going to be Jaffa, Gergo and Arns.
It does depend on which position Gergo and Arns are with the penalty. Yeah. I'm not going to show the stream whose penalty, because I want to let the stream figure it out a little. Have a little guessing game.
Yeah. Also, just as a heads up, England are 3-0 up.
Yeah, as Kustov has retired in the pit lane. It's always sad to see a driver retire in the pit lane, but that is probably pure frustration from him. It's just not having the best drive for McLaren today, the championship leading team, McLaren. As it seems like they will pick up no points here today. It's going to allow the team, which I believe is Racing Point, who are closest behind them, to catch up. But I want to check for a sec. How many warnings have the... Jaffa hasn't had a warning yet, and Arntz has only had 2. So Arntz is 1 warning away from a penalty. Whereas Jaffa has not received a warning yet. Arntz is seemingly just closing slowly. Doesn't seem to be quick enough on the back of Gergo. This is a brilliant drive from the front runners. And I want to say as well, brilliant drive from Cool Ice Cube on those hard compound of a tyre.
Especially from lap 5 as well.
Also brilliant drive from Hawk, 2 stops for him. Evgen with 2 stops as well down in P13, as Christoph has now left the session. Lundlund with 2 stops as well. So a lot of the drivers gone with 1 stops, but very well done from, as we do actually see Jorkland and ATB. ATB does make the move stick, it seems like, around Jorkland. ATB is now up into position 4.
Well, Deviants onto the back of DSJ, the Master.
As both drivers do go wide. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make this move stick. If he wants to do the go for it.
He should be able to catch him in the with the overspeed due to the DRS.
Yeah. Well, he is in a Red Bull. He could just late brake like Daniel Ricciardo, as Hawk does make his way past Sunder. Hawk is on fire at the minute, bearing in mind he has made 2 stops and he is sat P7.
Yep.
Is that... Fastest lap does also stay with Jaffa at the moment.
Yeah,
Arnson slowly closing up.
Yeah, quite like 6 tenths that lap. He's not going to close up enough from looking at it.
As Cool Ice Cube does come into the pits to get off of that hard compound of a tyre.
Ooh.
But
May have just cost
Jorkland has made up 4 positions. To be fair, on that 1 stop he has made up 4 positions, so very well done from him today. 19 lap old mediums as well. Oh. As there is a yellow flag, sector 3, as I believe that is Nigelator.
Possibly.
It is going slowly, yes it was.
Yeah, I think he was
As
letting the car
Ferrari
past.
of Gergo is catching him up.
Yeah, I think he was letting the leader through as he's a lapped car.
As we do see Arnson trying to be a man on a mission here, but these mediums seem to be in their prime. Arnson does set
There we go.
fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I mean, he is now quickest man on track, but is that enough?
Yeah,
For him
Nigel
to
just letting
catch.
lapped cars through. Him and Pumpy are now going to probably have a battle because of it.
That'd be nice, because I hate seeing lapped cars when it... Sometimes when I'm getting lapped, it feels so disheartening, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you feel like you've got no one around you to battle, but I like it when there are 2 drivers like Nigelator and Pumpy, who will probably have a battle now. Which will be good for
got
them.
a 3-second time penalty.
ATB may... ATB will not... Well, ATB will know this now, so ATB may just think and go fully for this now.
But you might
with
not
that
have
3-second
life
time penalty.
left in its tyres to be able to do it.
He has taken them 11 laps.
I mean, Exploit and Yorkland have both done 20 laps on their mediums.
Yeah, and I also want to say, Gergo is catching Jaffa.
Ooh. But Jaffa does have about 30% more ERS than what Gergo does.
Yes, he does, to be fair. As Lunderland does pick up another 3-second time penalty.
And it's probably the fact that Jaffa's not stressing or trying to push too hard due to the fact he can see how many seconds Gergo has as penalties.
Yes, Gergo... We do not know how much Gergo has. I believe it is only 3 seconds, but I might be wrong there. I do not know. But if it is, that means he needs to catch up the 4 seconds and overtake him and pull it 3 seconds away in 2 laps. Jorkland is catching up to the back of ATBs. They're the only 2 cars close on track at the minute. So enjoy the little spectating of this little battle between them as Dorkland does massively lock up. Meaning no cars on circuit of DRS at the minute. Lovely.
Yeah, I think Gogo's starting to drop back a bit now. He was less than 4 seconds and he's now 4.2. Unless Jaffa's just got a really good setup for Sector 2.
So Jaffa is only 4 tenths slower than his quickest lap at the minute. Whereas we will see how much. I will not tell me.
Yeah.
I believe Gogo is still dropping back, whereas Arnson is slowly catching, but soft tyres aren't really going to allow it. As Nigel later picks up another 3-second time penalty. Gogo was 1 second slower that lap. And as quick as he's been, Arnson is catching, but 2 laps to go. Do you really think he can make a move? Unless there is a mistake from Gogo?
Unless there's a massive mistake from Gogo. I don't think he's going to catch 4 seconds within this, well, within 3 seconds within this lap. Oh, Arndt had a little bit of a loose rear end trying to get on the power. Might have cost him a little bit of time.
Was it a wiggle? From Arnson then? Arnson loves drifting his cars.
As Gogo looks, the car looks very planted. Might just be starting to relax a bit.
Whereas, yeah, a lot of drivers, I believe, now will not be battling, as we do actually see Hawk onto the back of X-Pilot.
That's the fresh medium onto the really old ones.
Let's look at the overspeed he has got on X-Pilot. As will he make a move into Magnussen Beckett, or will he just sit behind through Magnussen Beckett? Bear in mind he's going to be quicker than him.
X-Pilot has ERS spare though, but the dirty air through Magnussen Beckett is an absolute killer. I think Hawk's used too much ERS already.
Yes, he's not going to be able to make this move stick. He may have to go into the last lap.
It's going to be all or nothing.
Yeah, they're the only 2 drivers who are close together, as Arnson has also dropped back yet again.
Yeah, those mediums, the front left on those mediums of Exploit look like that. Dying.
Oh, is it? Yeah, they do.
You can see the degradation on them.
Yep. As these tyres are, certain drivers' tyres
tries
are
to stand it down the
all
inside.
apart.
Does he keep that move? Exploit's on the inside, Exploit's trying to push through a bit wide.
Who's got the DRS? And it is going to be Hawk who's got the DRS. And he's going to use overtake. X-Pilot's trying to stay ahead. But it is hard to stay ahead when the driver behind does have DRS.
And Hawk goes down the inside. Nice move.
X-Pilot now wants to stay
and
with him
to
make a move down the hangar straight where Jaffa is right now. As Jaffa, final few corners, as a brilliant race by Jaffa today. Brilliantly calm,
X-Pilot's got no
controlled.
overtake left.
This has been a brilliant race to enjoy.
X-Pilot.
Oh, as that's on the last lap. Oh, unlucky X-Pilot. But Jaffa wins, followed by Gergo, and then Arnson. A very good drive from all of them. As
ATV across the line. X-Pilot, I think, is going to get overtaken by Sunday right at the death.
Sunda is probably getting the radio message Max had at Silverstone.
Yep, and X-Pilot's lost it to Sunday.
But he does get it back on penalties. As brilliantly done from X-Pilot, there's 24 lap of mediums.
Because of penalties.
Brilliant recovery drive from him, that is up 4 positions as well. But this does mean that Jaffa does take the championship lead. But brilliantly driven from all these drivers today.
Kingberger next across the line. He finishes in P11.
As Evgen and Cool Ice Cube will be the last 2 drivers to cross the line. As how long do you think everyone had on penalties then? Oh, it's already added the penalty.
Yeah, it does that as soon as he crosses the line.
Yep, as FJN will be the
guys.
last driver to cross the line.
Yep.
A brilliant drive from everyone here today at NRC. The driver of the day probably has to go to...
God,
Well, I don't know, because everyone seemed to have a very good race today, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think
There was no one who, like, just completely fell apart.
I mean,
Pumpy
the game gave Pompey driver the day. I think that was just because he didn't have
had made up the most
best
places.
qualifying, but made up the most positions in the race. Just the incidents around him.
Yeah, that was a very good race, and we have been your commentators, me, Headhunter, and Crowding Door, or ERN Crowding, as known in the Discord now.
Yep.
Just want to say, very well driven again from all the NRC boys, and a big thank you to all of them for letting us commentate.
Yep.
Anything you want to say?
Nope, that's about it.